Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reclaiming My Life. I'm your host for tonight, Dr. Tiffany Tyson. And tonight's topic, we're going to be discussing bullying since October is Anti Awareness or Bully Awareness Month. But before we meet our special guest for tonight, I want to introduce you to our co authors and visionary. Visionary author, Miss Claudia Massey.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to Reclaiming My Life.
Co-author Mr. Mika Cooper,
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on Reclaiming My Life podcast.
and co-author Miss Joanne Bellamy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast of Reclaiming My Life.
And tonight we have this very special guest that my co-authors and I spent time with at my fifth Young Ladies Empowerment Series event just 2 days ago. She is a pop, R&B, and hip hop electric violinist. Not only has she worked with major companies like Gatorade, Super Bowl 53, Ford Motor Company, also Atlanta International Fashion Week, Sony Music Entertainment, and Def Records. I am so excited to bring her on tonight and so excited that we were able to listen to her at the conference this weekend. This is none other than electric violinist Miss Joy Black.
Hey,
Hi.
I'm so
How
glad
are you? Oh my
got
gosh,
my
I'm loving your shirt.
I-
Yes. So you're wearing the shirt from the conference.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. I'm still getting, so many rave reviews about your performance and when is your concert coming out and what's next. People are so excited and they just loved your performances at the show this past weekend.
Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad. You guys lending me your ears for the day. I was really excited to be performing in North Carolina for the first time. Coming from Atlanta, it was a big switch, seeing all the little shopping centers and stuff like that. Like, oh, where's the buildings and stuff?
Yeah, I know you were looking for like the tall building. You're like, where are the high rises? I was like, there are none in Rocky Mount. So during the event, during the Reclaiming My Life segment, because my co-authors and I were there, you also got to share a little bit about your story, but I want you to share a little bit about your story on tonight's platform, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. I'd love to. Well, I I always start in the beginning. So ever since I first got in school, I was always bullied. So I started out homeschool, so I really didn't have many social skills with other kids. I started out going to public school when I was in second grade, and uh, when I first started school, it was kind of hard for me to make friends, and I was really uncomfortable, doing work like as partners and fighting a partner, and like in gym and fighting a partner and all that kind of stuff. And kids wouldn't play with me at the during recess on the playground. So I grew up, just having that thought pattern of people don't want to talk to me or play with me or be my friend and all that kind of stuff. So I grew up being that girl with the earphones, with the hoodie on the back of the class, minding my own business and sitting in the cafeteria by myself and then wishing I was sitting with a group of girls or just friends in general, having fun and having, fun conversations. But I really got picked on most for like being skinny, in the Black community. I don't know, it's glorified to be thick. And then when you're not, it's like, oh, you need to put some meat in your and you need to eat this and that and cornbread and all that kind of stuff.
I know the feeling.
and then people notice you gain weight. Oh, you're getting thick. And then it's like, when you're just, how you are, kind of like a,
Exactly.
it's a problem. So really had to learn to gain confidence in how I looked, and also I lived in like um where a part of Georgia. Well, I was
Mhm.
born in Atlanta, but
Mhm.
in my early life, I was moved. We moved to like areas where it wasn't that many black kids.
Right.
But later on, I we moved in towards the downtown area where it's more diverse, more black kids and all that kind of stuff. And then when I made that transition, I didn't listen to hip hop music. I didn't know what Nikes and all that kind of stuff were. So
Wow.
yeah, and then the Atlanta Southern accent and all that. I don't really have a Southern accent,
No, you
but
don't.
but uh, I really didn't understand the other kids and the and the dialect they use and the slang and all that kind of stuff. I would be like, huh, what, huh? And it's kind of like I'm acting like I'm better than them, or I don't know what they're talking about, and it was always like a disconnect. So I really couldn't connect with the other kids like that.
Right.
So I really didn't feel like I belonged like that because I really didn't, couldn't really fit in that way. And but when I was in 8th grade, I was really depressed. I didn't have I was failing most of my classes because I'll walk in class and I wasn't wearing the Nikes and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, "Oh, what are you not uh wearing those kind of clothes?" And I would think about when I'm in class, like learning and stuff. I would
Mhm.
think about like what I'm wearing versus what the teacher's saying. So
Right.
um and what I'll be focused on what the kids are talking about and all that kind of stuff. So you know I was failing in most of my classes, and it took me a long time. Well, to kind of figure out my learning style. It made me kind of nervous as a kid when the teacher's like standing over me and trying to teach me. It's kind of like makes me nervous. But I learned over time that I learned best from like YouTube videos and rewinding and stuff on my own. And just going by my own pace. Uh, so I did that and throughout my high school. Middle school to high school life. But the bullying still continued. So when I was in the 8th grade, I had a dream of me playing violin on stage in front of thousands of
Okay.
people,
Okay.
and it felt so real. And I didn't care about classical music. I didn't care about any of that kind of stuff. And when I was in 9th grade, that's when I signed up for orchestra class. And when I first held the violin, it just felt like such a like it was meant to be. And and when I first played the violin, it just of course it didn't sound good, but it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt like I had some kind of like something to do, like a lot of kids, they resort to self-harm and pills, or
Right.
whatever substances that can take away the pain, or and things like that. But I use the violin as a source to put my negative energy towards. And I wouldn't do my homework. I would just be practicing my violin during the bad days of school. And my parents, they couldn't get me the latest clothing and the most expensive brands the kids wanted me to wear. So I had to street perform and try to make money on the weekends, like playing the violin downtown Atlanta and like different parts of the areas. And people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't be playing here. You should be playing in these
Right.
big stages and all that kind of stuff." And I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just thinking about making money and looking good at school and dressing cute. And that's what I did. I saved up money to go and buy clothes,
Right.
and I was
So when
making.
did your first big break come where you stopped playing on the street and then you begin to actually perform at
Um, well,
other
after
places?
I graduated, that's when I got I didn't when I was in school, I wasn't really like doing my work like that. So and I didn't know what to do, because I what I wanted to do in college. So I just stuck with the violin. I didn't go to college. As soon as I graduated, I just stuck with the music. And I started posting videos on social media, and posting popular cover videos. And I started getting a lot of followers on social media at a young age. And my mom, goes to all of my events. She's like one of my number one supporters.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We'll go to networking events, and I'll be scared having that mindset of
Right.
like, nobody wants to talk to me, having that bullying mindset in the, in coming into my adult world. But my mom was there, telling people, oh, she's the violinist, and, saying everything I was scared to say. And I was shocked. They were like, oh, wow, really? And I never really got that kind of, you know, people never saw me like that growing up. So I had to get used to people giving me compliments. I never believed whatever people said that was positive about me.
So I know my co-authors are waiting to jump in, so they have a couple of questions they want to ask you. So I'm going to first call Miss Claudia Massey because I know she's waiting to ask you some questions as well.
Okay.
Joy.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. First, I want to say that you are absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You are so welcome. I want to ask you, Joy, seeing how successful you are today, what advice would you give to some young people that are in school or just anywhere, that are being intimidated and bullied?
Well, I would say definitely to tell someone. That's probably the most important thing, and that's what helped me too. But a lot of times, what my problem was that there's so many kids that used to pick on me. So it's like I'm telling on everybody, and they can't suspend the whole class, can they? I don't know.
Right.
And it's just to I just learned to build the confidence within myself as well, and find something to put that negative energy towards, because you can you can get rid of as many bullies as you want, as long as you're pouring into you. Nothing else in the outside will really matter.
I love it. I love it, Joy. Thank you so much for that.
thank
I pray that, some that are listening and that are being bullied today really take that advice. That's good.
thank you.
Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
We now have a question from Miss Tramika Cooper.
Hello, Joy.
Hi.
So I'm gonna piggyback on Claudia's question. If you could go back to your freshman year in high school, what advice would you give yourself?
um a lot of times when people ask me the question of going back, and I think about it now, I used to be like, oh, just drop out of school or whatever. But having the young mindset of like getting out of school, I used to always want to be out of school and stuff. But um, my number one advice to myself that I would give is to just trust the process, because if I didn't go through what I was going through, I wouldn't have been here today. I wouldn't take back any of the the problems or the sticky situations that I experienced.
Right. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you.
Tramika. We will now hear from co-author Miss Joanne Bellamy.
Hi, Joy.
Hi.
I want to tell you, you are awesome. You are
Thank you.
just awesome. I love you. Your music is outstanding. You are awesome
Thank
violinist.
you so much. Thank you so
Joy, I was bullied in school as well too. I was
much.
called a toothpick.
Mm.
I was called Skinny Minnie. I even had someone to draw pictures of me and stick them on the door of the classroom so everybody could walk down the hall and actually laugh and pick at me. So it's just a bad feeling. And I see that you really reclaimed your life from bullying to violinist. You turn to that to help you, and it just it's awesome. God just took you up to higher heights. But my question is, what are your other hobbies? You're perfect at what you do, but do you have other hobbies? That what do you do when you're not on your violin?
So when I'm performing, it's a lot. I spend time around a lot of people and events and stuff. So over time, it gets
Yeah.
really, really tiring, and like I get rushed sometimes after shows, and people figuring me out a bit more. So after then, I'm really tired and exhausted. I
Okay.
take breaks from my violin in order to recuperate and regenerate my energy. So I spend a lot of time meditating in nature and
Okay.
reconnecting. Sure. I'm vegan as well, so I eat really good and really clean. So I don't,
Okay.
yeah. In order to keep, maintain a high source of energy, I always, try to eat clean, and I
Good.
also
Good.
well, I have adult coloring books, so I just
Oh,
love
okay.
focus on that. And what else do
Okay.
I love animals as well. So I have a dog. Spending time taking care of something. I don't have any kids, so I have fish,
Okay.
dog,
Awesome.
and yeah, that's them for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
God bless
Thank you,
you.
Miss
God bless.
Joanne. So I think also what our viewing audience wants to know, what's next? What do you have coming up? Do you have a tour coming up? Do you have an album? What is next for Miss Joy Black?
Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely planning a tour. Definitely planning on releasing my first album. I do a lot of covers. I have a single called Champion Rising that I released last year
Yes.
by Jack Spade. But when I do covers, people enjoy the covers. So when I play my actual song, like people really enjoy that too. So I'm like, wow, people like this way more. So I really want to continue like the violin hip hop mix and getting more
Yes. Yes.
R&B. So I want to create a pop violin album and an R&B album, so people can a variety of vibes that and and I want to go on tour. I do a lot of other people's events and things like that. It's really fun, but I really want to create a stage how I want it to look and everything and the colors. I feel like I can do a pretty good show. I've been performing for about most of my life. So, I really want to have a chance to have something the way I like to see it, have a vision and project and really
Yes. Yes.
so I really want to go to different states and different countries. People always tell me, overseas they're gonna love you over there. So
They will. They will.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
so I really want to go overseas. So that's definitely in my plan.
Now, you also work with children or you give back. What is your platform where you either talk to kids or give back, or do you talk to kids about your experience with bullying, or what are some of the community things that you've been up to?
Well, recently, well, after every year, I do so many shows. I only wear the outfits once. So at the end of every year, I always donate my clothes to different charities. There's this organization called Chris 180, and they have homeless teens. And I donated a year's worth of clothing to that organization.
Wonderful.
I do a lot of different girl group talks, and I go to different
Yes.
schools. Pre-COVID, I was doing a lot of that too, like going to different schools and playing for the girls, or like girls that were dealing with bullying, or girls that were bullies. I'll give advice and things like that too. So always keeping my face out there, because I never, when I was growing up, I never seen a black violinist. So you
Right.
know you
Right.
never know who I could influence the same thing, or something that doesn't have black women in the field, or women.
I think that's awesome that you just said that, and that's why that was one of the reasons that I wanted you to come to the event, because I think it's important for you to see individuals that look like them in spaces that are underrepresented. Because you just said, right, you don't see too many Black female violinists. And so that was awesome. Not only did you inspire the teens, the youth, but also the adults as well. And again, you were so, so amazing. And
You.
just, again, just love your energy, love the vibe, and everyone just really enjoyed your performance, and your overall your personality and your spirit was
I
really
think
really awesome.
you guys put on a really amazing event. I enjoy my time rocking
Thank
on.
you, thank you. We definitely got to have you come back, because I think you've done some collabs with, is it Mulatto or
Yes, yeah,
Lotto?
yeah. He came
Yes.
a lot. So I performed for a lot of different celebrities. There's a time that I had the opportunity to play for the label owner of Quality Control, the music label. I played for their CEO's birthday party, and a lot of celebrities were there. The mayor was there, Andre Dickens. different celebrities like Quavo, Offset, um, Coyle Ray, almost every artist that you can possibly think of.
So now for our viewers that are listening, how can they follow you? How can they find out more information? What's your website? What's your YouTube handle? Give us all that information.
Well, everything is Joy Black on social media.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Joy Black, for joining us tonight on Reclaiming My Life. Thank you, audience viewers, for also joining with us. And in closing, we're here to inspire and enrich and to motivate others to reclaim their lives. And don't be a bully, be a fix it.
Love you, Joy.
Love you.
Love you, Joy. Thank you for
Enjoy.
joining.
Thank you.